God is going to do evil.
Don't worry, he's just scared. He doesn't know if you're going to approach him with kindness or abuse him. He senses it. Relax.
Sight through my eyes is my own to memorize. But in sight, you're blind to the memories in my mind. So memories in my mind are my own to define. And those definitions design a perceptual outline of the world and of me, a personal glossary. They're not always exact or exclusive, and my definitions adapt with their uses and based on what others tell me. A man, strong, a big dong, professional, carnivore, sexual conquistador, hetero, analytical, cynical, fearless, tearless, high achiever, charismatic, smart. Am I a man? I mean, technically, but I'm beardless, often awkward. I shop clearance, visit the doctor for things that are often just stress-induced. I've heard him soft. Sight through my eyes is my own to memorize. So memories in my mind are my own to define. Definitions store thoughts, then thoughts form stories. Stories that organize and plot categories. Categories that become the lens through which I see. But my story exists inside nitrogen, oxygen, and a little carbon dioxide. A family, social norms, storms of information, billions of definitions, and millions of conversations. Every conversation becoming an appropriation of thought. An allegory within my story's plot. But I'm not sure I'm a worthy protagonist. In the story I've constructed about me, I'm a character who's becoming more afraid of his identity. Afraid of his body. He's afraid of what people think, so he sinks into his mind in social settings, his thoughts confined by second guessing, combined with shame to hide his panic. He shouldn't be panicking, he's a fucking pussy. Until he's on autopilot, just kind of acting human. Alone. Sight through my eyes is my own to memorize. But my perception, I find, is subject to compromise. If I define what I see through the lens of the story I believe, then every recollection could be a collection of skewed sensory. My reality, my story, can't be complete, despite the evidence of any deficiency I perceive fed by fear. Despite any perceived expectations of me to be like my peers, I mean, I'm good. I should be. I have a supportive family, I'm going to college. People want me to enjoy their company and feel acknowledged, but why do I tell myself I'm worthless? Why can't it be normal anymore? Sight through my eyes is my own to memorize, but my story resides within the history my culture has publicized. The world my textbooks depicted in factual text beside hand-drawn dick pictures, with a glossary defining slavery, imperialism, highlighting Columbus's bravery and Washington's wisdom, the heroes and villains, stories verified by collected archives and collected accounts. But high school taught me more about culture and power than my history textbooks, about the right roles of gender, race, and good looks, about social shame and acceptance as powerful tools or weapons.
Team obesity!
Felipe!
How can power skew the stories of our culture? To frame Columbus as a hero despite his brutality, to tell stories of progress despite devastating realities.
People are suffering.
Zimmerman's acquittal on Saturday.
Change everything in our life.
Would you rather have 2-inch long nipples or
About it because I fucking love it. I love grinding. I love all the fire.
And I said, I think he wanted me to help him somehow.
Is the EPA buying data from somebody else that could be computer?
Ever touch a titty, little pussy boy? I know you have it.
We're going to pick a pH.
keep people down, dude.
I don't even know what I'm doing here, but
It's not me. You have like no confidence. And it's annoying. It's kind of like
12 manake kwamba ukawa kwenye nyumba yako.
unattractive. And I get it, but I'm really tired of you moving around. Like, what do you want me to do?
Sight through my eyes is my own to memorize. But do I control the worldview through which I surmise? If definitions are constructed out of collective cultural experience, does my definition of comfort make me imperious? If comfort is defined without the voices of the people that labor to bring me my coffee and cereal.
Are the only source of income.
Not to bash lattes. I love them. It's just weird to consider someone's desperation when I was born amongst abundance. If I was born living paycheck to paycheck around addiction or neglect, how would I define the world at 23? Would I be able to find some sense of stability or comfort? I was born as a straight white boy in a 3-story home with name brand toys, around laughter and family meetings, but somehow I'm still self-defeating. I shouldn't be. I'm privileged on like every level. There must be something wrong with me. Their family's suffering unfairly, and I should use my privilege to not barely enjoy my gift. So caught up in my own stuff.
I know exactly the back cave. That's why I can't see shit, right? Cause the only
look at that ass.
Hey, Dad. Do you ever feel like, I don't know, sight through my eyes is my own to memorize, but I can speak. To not do so out of shame only silos my critique. The amazing thing about language is it's a tool to share your perception, to give you tools to gain perspective, to redefine reflections. Even if the process is sloppy, uncomfortable, it doesn't always rhyme, and you cry a little bit in front of your dad. It heals you. Adapt a vocabulary that's productive and perceptive, and seek out conversation that's trusted and receptive. To redefine discomfort with constructive perspective. To recognize emotions as a point of connection, because despite all having our own perception, we're all human. And we can all relate to fear and love. Sight through my eyes is my own to memorize, but insights reside in understanding my mind through the language in which it's designed. With over 600,000 English words in circulation, I have to assume my glossary is just a small compilation of possible definitions. There are too many generations of human experience to assume my story or emotions are mysterious or unique. There are too many generations of human experience to assume that the dominant ways of viewing the world aren't open to critique. If I accept the definition of masculinity I've digested, that's compounded my anxiety with guilt and shame and no means to express it, I'll be seized in a story of inadequacy forever. If I accept the definitions of race and sex ingrained in our systems, or the definition of success that fuels unjust conditions, I'm creating a narrative that's no different, because everyone's experience is significant. A man, self-aware and considerate of others' differences, humbled by ignorance, driven by listening and diligence, proud of who he is but not limited. That's the definition I want to fit.